Almost 3/4 of people with haemophilia are living a life of pain and worry because of their condition. That's according to a new survey asking patients suffering from the illness to share the challenges they face. They've been released as experts in the disease are gathering at the World Federation of Haemophilia Congress in Glasgow this week to discuss the latest developments. Geoffrey Courtney is from the Haemophilia Society.
The standard of care for haemophilia in the UK is very high by global standards. People can get access through the NHS to the treatments that they need. However, over time, even on that standard of care here, you still see most people suggesting that they still receive pain. Many people will have joint damage and have difficulty with mobility. And on a very simple measure, that it still impacts on their ability to take part in sport and do physical activities and on their day-to-day life. We have a number of youth ambassadors who are very active, outgoing people, but yet they will have to cancel social engagements. While they can do certain sports, like they might be able to swim or cycle, they're probably not able to run long distances. So you still have to adapt your life to living with a condition.
Well, that was Jefferson Courtney. Danny the Spark says, "Gimme Shelter," hands down the best Stones record. Let's talk to, one of the top blues guitarists in the country, also haemophiliac, Andy Gunn. Hello.
Hello there.
Now, you're not the Rolling Stones impersonator. You are, off your own bat, one of our best guitarists. You played blues guitars. Tell me about life as a haemophiliac.
Well, it's quite a difficult condition. It varies kind of wildly. Some people are severe, and then there's moderate and mild, and and even within that condition, you can have good periods and bad periods. And myself, I'm a severe haemophiliac, which means I've got less than 1% clotting factor in my blood. Some days I can do okay, and then there's other days, I'm kind of housebound, and sometimes for weeks or
months.
months.
Why housebound? What happens?
Well, people think haemophilia, it's about getting cut, and yes, it's, there's external bleeds like that, where if you get, cut or injured or whatever, but most of the time it's actually to do with internal bleeding. So, if you get bumped or whatever, and sometimes it can be very sort of minor things, if you catch your toe on a table or, bang your elbow on a door or whatever. You get internal bleeding into the muscles and the joints, and you have to take replacement factor 8 injections.
And you do that yourself every day? When you say take the injections, are you judging for yourself that you need to do this?
Well, that's right, yeah. They kind of say that we're almost like the experts in our treatment because we know when we're bleeding and, how much to take and what to do.
You feel that's a physical thing then?
Well, that's right, yeah. You can get bruising or swelling, or sometimes you just know by the pain that you get, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You had a hard time because you got some of the Duff blood products back in the day, didn't you? Just tell people about that.
Well, that's right, yeah. A lot of haemophiliacs got HIV and Hep C, and I got that when I was 7-year-old, about 36 years ago.
You were 7? 7,
yeah. So it's a bit of a miracle I'm still here, walking and talking and rocking and rolling, so...
From an infected blood product then?
Well, that's right, yeah. It was a big scandal, and there's a big... Theresa May's announced a public inquiry into it just now, which is due to be starting, I think, any moment, and... they're kind of looking into it, and it's a huge thing.
So were you born with this then? Was this something that's genetic in your family?
Well, yeah, it's mostly a genetic thing where the females carry the condition and it presents in the males. But even women carriers can have symptoms, So that's partly what Haemophilia Scotland, the charity, is doing over at the Congress. They're trying to raise awareness of, women that have the condition and, increase diagnosis and treatment for them, not just in Scotland, but, around the world and stuff. Yeah.
You've been talking at the conference, Andy, haven't you? Or you're just playing your guitar at the conference?
I played at the AGM, yeah, did a gig. Yeah.
Talking through his music.
If you were to just give one bit of advice to the health community, what is it? What would make the life of most haemophiliacs better?
Well, the ones that got like the HIV and the Hep C, I mean, they've had to fight tooth and nail to get any kind of compensation. So as well as living with all those health problems, a lot of them have been living in poverty. You know, can't get jobs and can't get mortgages or life insurance and so on. You know, so I think the Scottish Government is slightly more compassionate than Westminster, but you know, it's been a long, hard fight. You know, so yeah, I would say, you know, adequate compensation for that. And, you know, just the general things, you know, I think the Scottish Government's quite good in funding Haemophilia Scotland, and they do a lot of work for families, and because it can be quite a kind of isolating illness, you know, being a rare condition, you know.
Listen, great. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
Sure. Oh, there was one just little thing could I mention?
Go on, this is the next gig, is it? Or?
That's right, Saturday the 2nd of June at Barbrig in Leith in Edinburgh. Come and see a rock and roll show.
All right, good on you. Andy Gunn, seriously one of the best guitarists in the country, also haemophiliac, Andy Gunn. Thank you for coming in. That's Andy.
Thanks.